Today is a great opportunity, especially for female entrepreneurs. We are going to speak about energy healing and how to get rid of our, let's say, blocks. Tenya, could you please introduce yourself and what do you do for business?
Hi, my name is Tenya, and I am sorry, excuse me, allergies are bothering me here today. I'm an emotion code practitioner, certified, and what that means is I help my clients to release blocks of success and anxiety, depression, and we do this because we're all energy. Okay, so everything that we look at is energy. The computer monitor we're looking at, our hands, if you look down deep into your hand, you're going to see a lot of atoms and neurons and all that kind of stuff. And they're only solid because they're moving so slowly, right? So we're all energy. So we're able to connect to each other's energy. You know, my feet are connected to the ground, which are connected to the earth, which then connect to you. So with all of us being energy and being able to connect, and I sound like I'm rambling, so I'm able to connect to your subconscious and ask specific questions of your subconscious to get rid of these blocks. And
so go ahead, Tenya. Sorry, go ahead.
We create these blocks from before birth, right? So you're born sometimes with these blocks or these trapped emotions. And then as we grow up and go through certain things in our lives, we tend to start holding all of these emotions and blocks in, and that will affect us later on in life.
You mentioned that you are certified. What kind of certification do you get to be certified in this career?
So it's called, there's emotion code and there's body code, and I'm certified in them both. And this is a modality that has been around for a very long time, but it was honed by a chiropractor and Dr. Bradley Nelson, and he has a book called The Emotion Code. And he created this certification so that other people can not only help themselves, but they can help their family and their friends. And now we're able to help people all around the world. And with that, we go through up to 6 months worth of training. We have to go through 20 to 30 different people, 2 to 3 sessions a person, so that we can, one, trust our muscle testing and know what the answers are for sure. Because when you start muscle testing, you don't always trust the answer. So you have to go through this training process so that you can trust your intuition and learn to trust your muscle testing. So by being certified, it means that I've gone through, you know, at least 100 people, 100 sessions to know what it is that I'm doing, what it is that I'm looking for.
My second question, you mentioned that sometimes people are born with blocks. How does that happen?
So what we get is we get preconception trapped emotions. So Dr. Nelson got this made up this chart of 60 different trapped emotions that are very close to any emotion that you're going to feel. And it ranges anywhere from anxiety to depression, to terror, to hatred, to resentment. And sometimes we get these trapped emotions preconception. I'm a strong believer that you go from one body to another. This is just a meat suit. Our souls, our spirits are always going from one to another when they pass on. So when we get these preconception trapped emotions, a lot of times they're either guilt or resentment. And it's just these emotions that you feel because you know, who wants to leave heaven per se? You know, because it's this amazing place that everybody just flourishes and everybody is happy and everybody is just, it's just a wonderful place that then you're asked to come back into a body and live on earth. And we all know what earth is like sometimes. You know, a lot of times there's a lot of turmoil and trauma, and we don't want to go through that. So you trap these emotions of either feeling guilty for wanting to leave, or you feel resentment because you don't want to leave and you're told, well, no, you need to go back down because you have more learning to do. And that's why we come back into another bodies, because we may not have learned what we were supposed to learn before. So now we have to go back and we have to try to relearn it.
So you try to ask specific questions. How do you decide that these are the correct questions?
So my muscle testing. So when I connect to a subject, I ask for help from the universe, and I use the ring and finger method, which is I do a ring and I go like this. And if I get a yes, it stops. If I get a no, I get this. So if I ask myself, my name is Tenya, I get a yes. My name is Michelle, and it automatically comes out. So I can't explain it. It's one of the things that Dr. Nelson says is, sometimes you just can't explain it. I just work here. Froze it. Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
I don't exactly know how muscle testing works, but it works. I don't exactly know how electricity works, but I know it works. So if I ask a question, so we have an abundance package where I can help my client to release all blocks against attracting money. And one of the questions is, money is dirty. Okay, so if you think that money is dirty and I get a yes, well, then we need to remove that block. We have to remove all the imbalances and the trapped emotions that are associated with why you think money is dirty. Because if you think money is dirty, you're not going to attract it.
Sure. But who are your specific like clients or customers, and why do you choose this bracket of age?
So I like to work with female entrepreneurs between 25 and 55. And I gravitated towards that because that's where I am when I started my business. I understand where they're coming from. I understand what blocks that they have. And I now know how to help them to get through those blocks and to release those imbalances that are keeping them or holding them back from having a successful business.
And why don't you work with the other side?
It's not that I wouldn't work with them. I think it's just I just want to hone in on a specific market, because if I market to everybody, you end up working with nobody, because everybody just thinks, well, she can work with anybody. Why don't I go work with this person who seems to have more experience in what I'm looking for? So I had to narrow down who I wanted to work with so that I could narrow down my packages and kind of hone in my own business, if that makes sense. So while I'm open to working with everybody, my marketing is more towards the female entrepreneurs within those age ranges.
How does a session with you work?
So it starts with a conversation to figure out where your blocks are, where you think you're lacking in your business. And then I'll dig a little deeper so that we can get to these specific questions. So if somebody has anxiety over doing live videos, right? Maybe they're selling a product and they want to be able to do live videos or do videos to show off their products, but every time they get in front of a camera, they stumble their words, or they're umming all the time, or they need to stop and drink water all the time. So we can hone in on why do they feel afraid to be in front of the camera? What is holding them back from being comfortable in front of a camera? And it's all about also how we word the question. So I can ask the same question in 5 different ways and release 10 different imbalances because of how the question was worded, because it's all in how your subconscious relates to that question.
Yeah, nice cat.
Thanks. Every time the camera comes on, my cats like to be right in the middle of it. They are not afraid to be on camera.
Yeah, that's great. And what happens after the session?
So after the session, your body will go through a processing. We'll go through processing. So some people get a burst of energy. Most people will feel lightheaded or a little dizzy towards the end of the session, because all of this energy is being released. All this negative energy is going off what we say to Pluto, because it never comes back. Once we release these negative emotions and these core negative core beliefs, they're gone for good. They don't come back. And as you're releasing, you start to feel a little bit more lightheaded, relaxed. And some people get a burst of energy. Some people may actually feel more tired a couple of hours after. After my first session, I was so tired the next day that I had to take a nap. But I had released like 20 emotions during that session, and it was a lot, especially for a first session. You have to make sure that you're drinking plenty of water, that you're hydrated, so that you don't feel the effects too much. But there is going to be a process. There is going to be a change. And then after 2 or 3 days, you're going to notice that something's different, but you can't quite pinpoint what it is, because most people won't contribute it to the session unless the practitioner asks them how they're doing, right? Because you know, after a couple of days, you tend to forget what you've done in the previous 3 days. You don't, you know, you hear little, you know, you remember little things, but the specifics, you just, one day you're just walking around going, you know, I feel a little different today. I'm not quite sure why. But then that's when you have finished processing.
And what is the difference between emotion code and body code?
So the emotion code is just releasing these trapped emotions. And what a trapped emotion is if you picture like a ball, an energy ball about the size of an orange or a grapefruit, and these are trapped emotions that will get stuck in your body. Imbalances are more toxins, bone misalignments, your chakras, your aura, your spirit and body connection, your organ imbalances. So you can have trapped emotions in your liver, where your liver is not working at 100%. So once you release those trapped emotions and those other imbalances, your liver can start to heal it. I mean, our bodies are such amazing things that they are meant to heal themselves. But the problem is these trapped emotions and these imbalances that we acquire over time start to eat away at our body and our minds. And that's where disease comes from, right? These trapped emotions and imbalances put our bodies in disease. And by releasing these, your body can start to naturally heal. There have been stories of people who have avoided knee surgery or back surgery, healed from their ADD or their ADHD, being able to finally focus because they've gotten all of these imbalances and trapped emotions out, because their bodies were able to heal naturally after getting everything out.
What are emotional walls?
So the emotional walls, you have what we call a heart wall is the main one. And a heart wall is when we build basically a bomb shelter around our heart. And we do this to protect ourselves. So when we were working on my heart wall, the youngest emotion I had was from age 4. So what 4-year-old needs to trap emotions, right? You wouldn't think a 4-year-old would get trapped emotions. But I had a trapped emotion, and I can't remember what it was now, but I had a trapped emotion from age 4. So starting at age 4, I started to build a heart wall, started to protect my own heart. And what happened was, as I was growing up and I kept building this heart, this wall, is you're not able to receive love as easily as someone who has an open heart. You're also not able to express love as easily, because you can't get the words to come out. And because you can't do that, when you want to say to your spouse, hey babe, I love you. Thank you so much for making dinner. I really appreciate you. I appreciate everything you do. But what comes out is, thanks, babe. Right? So you want to say all this other stuff, but because you have this heart wall, you can't. But then they also have a heart wall. So when you say thanks, babe, they may just hear thanks.
Oh, yeah.
Depending on how thick their heart wall is. And so by releasing that heart wall, you're able to open up to love both giving and receiving.
Okay. And what other walls do people build?
So you can get a body wall. So if you have body images, have trouble losing weight, you don't find yourself attractive, you don't find other people attractive, you could have a body wall because you're not seeing what you should be seeing. You see fat, or you see too thin, or you see, flabby arms. So that's a body wall. And there's a couple others, but they're on the tip of my tongue, but the biggest ones are a body wall and a heart wall. Okay, so the other walls that are built so we have the heart wall, the body wall. You can build organ walls, so walls around your organs, so your organs are not producing, and gland walls, and mind walls, so mental walls. You get fogginess. So those are all kinds of walls that we can break down.
You earlier mentioned communicating or talking to the universe. How do you do that?
So the universe, there's the universe. Some people call him God, some people call it source. It's all in how comfortable you are in talking to the air, the space. God is there, he's the universe, and he's the source, and he's the creator.
You also mentioned that you ask the same question in different ways to explore different things. Can you give us an example?
Yes. So let's say we were talking about, we talked earlier about someone going live on video. So do you feel comfortable doing live videos? Do you feel comfortable being in front of the camera? Are you scared of doing live videos? Is there a fear behind not going in front of the camera? Are you afraid to talk in public? So those are different variations of the same question, but your subconscious will have different releases for those questions.
Okay. You also mentioned my question is, for example, if you are talking with someone who has a problem or has a body wall, can this emotion code work with, for example, obesity or
Yes.
heavy weight?
Yes, definitely.
How would you do that?
So if I'm working with somebody who wants to lose weight, if they have a negative core belief that they don't feel safe losing weight, or they may believe that they're not allowed to lose weight, or that it's in their genetics that they're going to be fat for the rest of their lives. Those are all beliefs that somebody else has told us at some point in our lives that our subconscious has held on to. So I struggled with that myself. And since doing the emotion code, I finally have been able to start losing weight without changing what I've been doing. Because a lot of my weight was held on by emotion, not by food, not by exercise, but by emotion, because I was just holding on to it because it made me feel safe to be this way. For whatever reason, I was told my genetics, I'm genetically fat, so I'm always going to be fat. So what's the use in trying to lose weight? Because I've always been told I'm going to be fat. So by releasing those, you can finally start to release the weight.
Okay, suppose now you are talking to your specific audience. What are your main messages to these people?
So in order for your business to be successful, you have to let go of any beliefs that are holding your business back. And a lot of those come from past traumas within our life. They're not necessarily related just to business, but they're related to things that happened in your life that you are taking into your business. So by releasing those past traumas and those past emotions, you can finally start to change things in your business to get it to move forward. I can release blocks of finding your ideal client. We all have these businesses, but we really do have an ideal client in our hearts that we want to work with, but not everybody knows who their ideal client is. And by releasing the blocks of money, we can create generational abundance. So it's not just for you, but this could be a legacy that you could leave for your children and your grandchildren by releasing these blocks, because everything that you release from you, you will not pass on to your children and so forth, because we also get inherited trapped emotions, which is a whole nother thing.
So my other question is, what are the main questions your clients need to ask themselves to be able to determine they need your help right now?
Where are they at in their business? What are they afraid of doing in their business? And is this something that happened to them in their past that could be released? And you don't know what's in your subconscious. So sometimes it's hard for your conscious mind to really understand what is holding you back. You know, are they emotionally happy in their business? Because if you're not emotionally happy in your business or with your business, it's not going to go very far, because you have to be emotionally invested and emotionally happy with where you're at in your business. And I think that's very important for, especially for women. I think it's important for everybody, but I think because women are so much more emotional than men, I think it's more for women to get through those blocks so that they can be emotionally happy with their business and with themselves.
So as a person who has experience and has professional experience dealing with the women's side of business and the women's side of blocks and the emotions, what is your message to the other side, the men? What would you like to tell them?
I'm willing to work with you. I have not worked with very many men because I haven't had very many men reach out to me. But I'm definitely willing to work with you. And if we don't resonate, there are other practitioners that you can resonate with. I'm not afraid to send you off to another practitioner, because I love this modality so much and I believe in it so much that I think everybody can use it. But I think you have to resonate with your client, and your client has to resonate with you.
Are you in love with your business?
I am. I love doing this. I was asked one time, what would you still do this business if you didn't get paid for it? Yes, I would, because I think it's so needed. I think it's needed on top of other things. Like, I think if you do talk therapy, I think this is great to add to talk therapy. I think if you do exercise for your therapy, I think this can be added to so many different things. It could be added to a coaching program. If a coach has a client that has blocks, if this coach knew how to do this, how this could help their clients so much more with those mental blocks when they can't just seem to get past it. But yeah, I would definitely do this if I wasn't getting paid. But it's nice to get paid.
What else would you like to say, Tenya, today?
Reach out to me if you guys have any questions. I strongly suggest that you read the book, The Emotion Code by Dr. Bradley Nelson. You can learn to do this. So you can find me at designyourexistence.com. I'm also on Facebook at Design Your Existence.
Tenya?
I can hear you.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Okay.
It's great. Okay. It has been a great opportunity talking to you, Tenya, and getting these amazing insights about, let's say, female entrepreneurship and the ability to overcome these blocks. That has been inspirational. Thank you so much for that indeed, Tenya.
Thank you very much. It's nice talking with you.